So yeah, I know you're here because you're looking at changing your Nigerian or your African accent. You want to speak like the British people. You wanna, you gonna. Yo, chill. So I've been trying some things for a while, and I kind of find out what worked, and I feel like it would work for you. Yeah, so we're just gonna dive into this right now, sharply. You have to follow this. Like, it's very important. Like, why should you even be speaking like? Why should you be using African accent or a Nigerian accent to speak a foreign language? Like, that's so unfair to the owners of this language. Now let's dive into this. So the two accents that I have mastered would be British accent and American accent. So I'll be giving you the two ways. Yeah, I'll be giving you the general recipe and then some tailored specifically to fit either British or American accent. Yeah. Let's just get into this. So you see this is red oil. So you use this, you put it on the fire, you bleach it. I think it's called bleaching the oil. I don't know if every country has this, but I know most West African countries have this. So put this on the fire, bleach it. You know that one that when you bleach your whole house, you will not be able to inhale anything, like you won't be able to breathe. Yeah, that type. Now, as this is hot on the fire, you're not going to open your mouth. You use a spoon or directly, depends on the kind of frying pan you're using. Directly is the best though. And then you open your mouth and you place it, send it straight into your throat, sizzling. As it is doing, yes, you send it straight down into your throat. Now, if you want British accent, that is what you would do. Well, if you want American accent, you're going to go a step further from that. So when you finish bleaching the oil and putting it in your throat, use this. You put this directly also to kind of cool it down so that by the time you're doing hey yo, all this kind of stuff, that's what that would do. We're moving on. I hope you guys are jotting because it's very, very important that you follow this very, very well. So don't forget that we're starting with this bleached oil down the throat, British accent. And if you're going for American accent, you have to add the groundnut oil ororo down into the throat. Yeah. But if for British, when you put this, you know yam. By the time you've boiled the yam very well, then you now swallow it like that so that your throat will be very, very open, hot yam, so that by the time you're speaking, it's just that, like I said, I have practiced more of the American accent than the British accent. Else right now, they've been giving you guys some, direct tips on what you can say in British, like, hey, hola, you come into the house today, you get? So that yam kind of help give you that, yeah. I hope you guys are okay. Secondly, this, you know what this is for? Now, when you do all this, you kind of need your throat to be relaxed, right? So there's various options you can use. You can use, what's it called? Eggs, yeah, because it's slimy, and okra, yeah. You also have the option of snail, yes, because when you've done all this thing, you kind of want your throat to cool down, right? Like, open it more, let it. So when you're speaking, the throat will be, when you hear this accent now in your ears, it kind of like draws. I don't know if you're understanding. I don't know if this is the... Don't say I did not do anything for you this Christmas period. As Umu Malay, they are coming back. So this is either you're using the slime from snail, you're using eggs, or you're using either of those two. Then you add okra to it. You add a bit of salt. Yeah, because it's just very little, because if you put too much, you're going to miss the whole step. Like, this is the most important of all. Very little salt. In fact, a pinch of a pinch, that kind of thing. So when you add it to this, you need to be taking this morning, afternoon, and night, the mixture here. while the other ones just do them in the morning. Is that how you do it in the morning, or you do it late at night, but once a day, morning or night? But this is every day, 3 times a day. Yeah, so you don't say this girl did not do anything for you. My dear people of God, I did. I've done a whole lot for you. So yeah, I hope when you try this, you can come back and tell me if you're a team I wanna, I gonna, or you're a team, hey, are you coming to the house today? You know, stuff like that. Yeah, I would want to know. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chiamaka Ukebu. Yeah, if this is your first time seeing my face, you're very much welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, I love you guys. Either way, please click on the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel. Now, I want to understand, like, what is the deal about wanting to speak like foreigners? Like, first of all, when we hear the French or we hear the Italians speaking English with their accent, we are all jumpy and we're like, oh, that sounds so touche. Or even Americans themselves tend to appreciate these things, but when it comes to Nigeria, we ourselves do not tend to appreciate the accent that we used to speak. We want to speak exactly like them. Now let us understand that there's a difference between accent and diction. I am a very good fan of diction, like when people speak with the correct diction, like what I'm trying to say is you tend to pronounce the words as they should be pronounced, right? That is different from an accent. I don't know if you get. Accent is a totally different ball game. You could pronounce words the British way or the American way using your Nigerian accent. That is, you have good diction, Nigerian accent. Not good diction, British accent, or bad diction, American accent. I don't know. Yeah. And so it's a two-way thing. This is not to say that there are some persons that having an accent is a bad thing. This video is all about appreciating yourself for who you are, appreciating your accent, your African and your Nigerian accent. So here's the thing, it's the double standards. When non-English speaking countries that are not Africans tend to speak English, the world goes at it like, oh, I love that accent, I love this. But when Africans start, they're like, why are you so aggressive with the way you're talking? Or why are you speaking like this? Why are you pronouncing the words like this? And this does not just only come from Africans. It does not just come from foreigners. It also comes from Africans, such that you are termed local if you do not speak with a particular kind of accent. Yet, when you speak with an accent, the world comes at you. I don't know for other countries, but I'm very sure in Nigeria, if you speak with a foreign accent, in fact, people would want to eat you raw. Yeah, with the idea that you are forming, like you are faking it, it's not real, it's this, is that. I think it's high time to understand that some persons have lived all their lives abroad, and for that reason you do not expect them to more or less have only the Nigerian accent. They most likely would have the accent of wherever they've been. And also accent is something that is learned. It's something that it's easily picked up. Yeah, I, for one, tend to pick up accents so easily, like very easy. The only reason why I did not pick the Indian accent is simply because I did not live in the Indian community, right? I lived more with South Africans, and I will tell you for a fact that at some point it sort of did affect me because I was beginning to pick that South African accent. Yeah, so it's a thing. You should understand that not everybody fakes or forms this thing. Things happen. So I think it's all about expressing yourself the right way. Where I have a problem is where, first of all, your English is bad. Your diction is, but for some very weird reason and for any reason at all, you feel like, nah, you want to drop the Nigerian accent, the accent you need right now, the accent you want to imbibe is the American accent. Like, explain to me how that works. Is the accent the real deal, or is communicating the real deal? Like, I thought we all agreed that communicating is the deal and not accent. Like your diction is bad, your English is horrible, but you're trying to speak the American way. How is that supposed to even work out? Because you're concentrating so much on the wrong thing.
She wants the pepper soup. I'm like, no, you have to have your fangs up. She was like, no, I want the pepper soup. I'm like, nah, you don't do that. That's not how we roll in this Lagos. Like,
and here's the truth. I know a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans would give anything to sound like the Americans or the British. Why? It is sort of assumed that you are posh. And then we tend to forget that accent is not a measure of your intelligence. It's not a measure of how much you know. It's not a measure of knowledge. It's just what it is, right? Like, well, you could say if you have an accent, people tend to want to associate with you. But what if you're not saying anything? Like, you open your mouth and nothing. Like, it's not even a measure of how intelligent you are or how exposed you are. That's the real deal. Because I think it's such a thing that when people hear others speak with an accent, they kind of think, oh, she has crossed the border or he has crossed the border. Accent can be learned. It can so be learned. And I think one of the issues we have with this accent would be presenters, OAPs, and maybe some YouTubers and influencers. I know in the OAP world and in the presenting world, a lot of companies or a lot of shows want those who can actually articulate. When I say articulate, those who have the accent, not more or less about diction. I kind of feel like it's getting better, but growing up, it used to be a big deal. Like, you should have the accent, you should have the correct diction, and I think the correction would start from them, right? And not, we should not just leave it the way it is, because it's something people grow up to see. And if I want to be a presenter, and one of the requirements for me to be able to articulate in the American or British accent, it therefore means that I am going to go learn how to articulate properly in that accent. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but that's what it means. I definitely would want to articulate in that accent, because I kind of feel, because if every other person is learning that accent and is getting the job, how much more me? So why shouldn't I do it if it's gonna land me the job? You get? OAP and presenters have kind of made it their business to hire those with fake accents. And who are you if you want to be in that world not to fake it? It's more or less like fake it till you make it. Well, I think it's kind of getting better, because I hear a lot of them, and what I hear right now is diction, not accent anymore. It's more or less like good diction. There's no issue. Like, this video is all about letting you know that there is no issue with having an accent. Even the Nigerian way of speaking is an accent. Accent is what makes you identify a particular set of people. Take, for instance, if you hear people from Southern Africa speak, you're most likely going to identify them immediately. Like, this person is from southern part of Africa. Most likely this person is even from South Africa itself. I think South Africa has one of the strongest accent, I think, here. So, like, it is one of the ways people tend to identify people. Like, why would you want to change everything about your accent? You've never been across the border. Like, is it a thing of self-esteem? Is it because you're trying to get self-respect? Like, I just want to know, is it because you just love it? Now, it's not a bad thing to like the accent and to go and learn it. What we are saying is, when you learn it well. And for those who are in the habit of categorizing those who do not have accent as local, I think that's not a thing. You should stop. And for those who are in the habit of feeling like this person have an accent, or for that reason they feel like they've made it, I think it's not about the person. I think it's about you, your self-esteem, and you're not proud of yourself. So I don't think we should castigate each other because of the accent issue here. And also, disclaimer for what I said at the beginning, please do not try it. Thank you. saying it again. Oh, please. That was just, I don't know, that was just an intro. So please, I'm not saying anybody should go and drink hot oil. I know deal. Oh man, no deal. So this is about you appreciating your accent. Now there are a whole lot of Africans out there who have stuck with their accent, their country's accent, and what they do, how they articulate would just be good. It's just all about your diction. A very good example would be Chimamanda Adichie. Like, have you heard that lady speak?
You know, I think it depends on where I am. I think identity is I find identity to be such a fluid thing. And I don't mean that I become different people in different places. I mean that I'm many things at the same time. But depending on where I am, one thing is highlighted more, I think. And because I have two homes, I live in Nigeria and I live in the US. And I find that in the US, it's my being black that's sort of present.
She has the Nigerian accent, but what you're hearing, that would be a very good example. What you're hearing is the diction and not the accent. I don't know if you're hearing like good diction and Nigerian accent, and not what you're hearing is not the American accent. Another example would be Pete Edochie. So there are a lot of people who actually speak very well. Even Frank Edoho speaks well.
So which is more harder to talk, natatorium or swimming pool? Which one is harder? I mean, is it harder to say swimming pool? Sorry.
But you can hear that when this person speaks, you can easily hear that this person, like this particular person, is a Nigerian. It's good English. Like, it's such a thing when you hear people speak. So I do not know why you would want to fake it, but if you would want to fake it, why don't you just learn the accent, learn it the right way, and don't come and tell us that this mama have a zoom. Do you get? I don't know if you get that, but do not fake it in such a way that it becomes irritating. Like, I think in that space where I don't even think it's okay to laugh at people who kind of have this L and R tongue or the H factor. I'm more or less concerned or more concentrated on what you have to say or how well you're communicating. I think it's all about communicating and expressing yourself. A very good example is Kiki.
By all means, express yourself. By all means, repeat yourself. But you see, when I turn to Gidigbo, like boxing, I will try to stop you. Not because I don't want you to fight, but because I cannot write statements. How it happened, when it happened, where it happened.
Like, I love that lady with her Yoruba accent and the fact that she doesn't send you. And she's doing her stuff and she's doing well. In fact, she's doing so well. I love the community she has built for herself. And each time she tries to speak the normal English, I just feel like, give us the Kiki vibes. A very good example also is Faust. Now we all know that of course it's like an in-between. Faust speaks well and tends to articulate well. However, his the way he tries to play with the H factor and his African or the Yoruba accent, yeah, it's a funny thing, and it's one thing we all love about Faust. Now, not everybody's opportuned to be able to speak correctly. I think it's about us accepting ourselves. And for those who can't, make conscious effort to learn if you can. But even if you can't, try to communicate effectively. I think those are the important things, away from laughing at people who have accent or those tagging those who do not have accent as speaking locally. Yeah, and maybe our influencers and all that can also try to project the image that however you speak is okay. I know a lot of people kind of face acceptance within the public space. Take for instance, even on YouTube, people kind of feel like, oh, you're not speaking correctly, or oh, you're so local to be on YouTube. I think the acceptance, like I said, the acceptance is kind of common. We're not there yet. We're hoping to get there. The acceptance isn't there yet because a lot of people feel like if you're going to be in the public space, speaking diction isn't enough. Like, you have to form that accent. No matter what it is, you have to form it. But this video is all about letting you know that it's okay if you do not have the accent that they make standard. The Nigerian accent is also a standard accent. People are making money even with the accent they have. Even in the workplace, not everybody communicates. Some people don't even speak correctly. They just speak whichever way. It's all about communicating, and I feel we owe it to ourselves to be more acceptive, or to accept ourselves more, irrespective of how the other person speaks. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Now, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button below, and click on the notification bell that will pop up so that you get a notification when I upload any other video. Yeah. Now, do not forget, accent is not a measure of intelligence. It's not a measure of exposure. It's not a measure of success. Yeah, it isn't in any way at all. Work on yourself. Work on what you know and what you do not know. Accent is something that can be learned. It can be picked up, whichever way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. My name is Chamaka.